Hello and welcome to the brand new NYMR TV. So, the new opening titles look fabulous, and we'll be with you each month with the brand new North Yorkshire Moors Railway TV show to bring you the latest news and highlight the behind the scenes goings on. We'll also be bringing you every month the opportunity to win a new amazing prize. In fact, this month we'll be offering you the chance to win a family day pass for a free day out on the railway.
Thank you, Kim, and I'll also be here every programme with all the latest news, reviews and information regarding the North Yorkshire Moors Railway. Now then, this being the first NYMR TV programme of the year, let's catch up with a couple of winter happenings, and BR standard number 75029 made its first passenger run after returning from overhaul. Our cameraman Ian caught it in action on the 18th of February when it was standing in for the failed J72 number 69023. .5029 there, scurrying along with 3 coaches in tow. A perfect train for the North Yorkshire Moors Railway, I think, during the winter months. The 11th of March saw a full steam service commence between Gromont and Levisham. This was to allow continued working on Bridge 7 at Pickering. Here's Black 5 number 44871 in action. And quick quiz, no prizes, but what makes this engine special? Answer after the clip. So, just for a bit of fun, what makes the Black 5 number 44871 special? It was the last steam locomotive to run on British Rail in regular service way back in 1968, when even I was still just a little boy. Right, more news and information about the NYMR from me a little bit later on in the show. But first of all, one of the things we wanted to do with this programme was to highlight some of the work done by our volunteers here on the railway. Now, there are, of course, the glamour jobs, such as the engine driver, but many of the jobs here are often completely unseen by the general public. Now, Kim Kitching has the lovely task of finding out what everyone gets up to, and we haven't just plucked Kim randomly from Central Casting. Her life has been inextricably linked with the NYMR. Her dad, for example, was once the financial controller of the railway. Her mum was a premises cleaner, and her brother is currently the supervisor of the Pickering Station Cafe. So, with that background, we sent her to the signal box at Gromont to meet Chris Starr. And the first thing she wanted to know was, what does a signalman actually do?
A signalman is responsible for the safe passage of trains through his area of control. He's mostly doing that using bell signals to communicate with his colleagues, using signals, pulling levers to clear signals and set points. But signalmen's also responsible for ensuring that the trains pass safely. Indeed, they used to be called railway policemen, and they make sure that the trains are fit for purpose, roughly, so they make sure that they're passing safely, doors are shut, wheels are turning, that they've got the various bits of equipment on the front, lamps on the front and on the back, so that we know that the train is complete.
looks really difficult with all the levers, the bells, the buzzers. How do you remember it all?
To start with, it is very difficult. You're faced with a lever frame and you've just got to attempt to get it to work. But the system is of 150 years of evolution, designed so that you can't do anything that you shouldn't do. There's mechanical and now electrical interlocking, so that if the system won't allow you to pull a signal because there's a train blocking the route of from that signal, then you won't be able to physically do it. Yep, that's fine.
How did you personally get into signalling?
I think for me it all started with going to the Railway Museum in York when I was young, and they had a lever frame there that if you pulled the levers in the right sequence the signal cleared, and I just loved playing with that every time I went there. So that when I was old enough I applied to the NYMR and offered to be a signalman, and they accepted and trained me, and here I am today. What
does that training entail for you then?
Generally, once you've been contacted, you'll be put in a signal box, which is usually Leversham or Gotham, because they're the more simpler of the four that we've got, and you'll start learning the practical training, which is how to operate the levers and the token machines and other things like that. And you'll also at the same time start learning your rules and regulations, which is done via a correspondence course with our signalling inspector. Then once you've been found that you've got sufficient knowledge in the two, you'll have a box exam where you prove that you can operate the signal box on your own, and you'll have a rules exam, and once you've done both of them you'll get let loose in the signal box.
How long does that generally take then?
It varies depending on how much free time you've got to both come to the railway and do the correspondence course, which you can do at home. But roughly it will take a year for an average person, probably, depending on how much free time they've got.
How would you suggest someone who wants to do signalling should go about getting into it?
Obviously, for the NYMR, if you become a member of the trust and then apply to be a volunteer, say that you're interested in being a signalman, and they will then put you in a signal box and start training you, and if you're successful you'll go on to become a fully qualified signalman.
Is there any chance I could have a go at it?
I suppose we better let you have a go since you're here, yes.
Okay, I get to pull some levers, brilliant. So while I warm up my muscles, we'll go over to the NYMR latest news.
Thank you very much, Kim, and Chris, of course, back with you two in a short while. We start this segment with news that the Spring Steam Gala is on its way, with 2 weekends of action on the 4th to the 7th of May and the 11th to the 13th of May. There'll be 3 visiting locomotives in action: 4464 Bittern, which is pictured here running during our gala of 2010. She will be appearing in her full 1930 streamlining, so undoubtedly setting herself centre stage, although that may well be challenged by Britannia, which is coming along. She, of course, has just had a recent tour of duty on the Royal Train. Here it is being shown hauling Prince Charles at Copy Pit on the main line. Also appearing at the gala will be Standard Tank 8072, seen here blasting over the moors with the teak coaches in tow. This was pictured last July. Lovely though it is to have Bittern appearing on the railway, as we all know 1A4 is never enough at a gala. And so Sir Nigel Gresley will be back in service again after 12 months in the workshops, having its firebox repaired. And this footage here was taken on the Esk Valley line, which will be open for services to Battersby on both of the Sundays of the gala. Also appearing will be the NYMR's other home locomotives, 92214, 63395 and 69023, and 75029, which we mentioned earlier, back on gala duty again. So, plenty to whet the appetite at the Spring Gala. But if you're still hungry, why not try our dining train? See what I did there? The NYMR has now made it easier than ever to book seats with our new online system. And this is available not only for the Moorlander dining service, but a whole range of other NYMR tickets too. You could, for example, make use of it to book tickets on our special service that's coming up on the 5th of June, the Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee service, which departs Gromont at 1:30 in the afternoon. There are, I believe, some tickets still left, but they're going quite fast. June, after all, is not that far away now. So if you would like to celebrate the Queen's Diamond Jubilee in a completely unforgettable way, then head on to the online booking service at www.nymr.co.uk right now. And while you're on the site, don't forget to have a look at our online shop, which has loads of great present ideas for the railway enthusiast in your life. Now, if you're unsure what to buy someone who's absolutely passionate about trains, then I can recommend the gift vouchers, which are available for £5, £10 and £20. I'm going to be buying one of these, a train driver's hat. That's what I'll be getting with my gift voucher that I got for my birthday. Finally, the Volunteers Day has been and gone now, but that doesn't mean that we don't want your help. Heritage Railways are always on the lookout for new blood, and there's an online form that you can fill in to make your initial contact. You might, for example, fancy a go at being a signalman. So let's find out how Kim is getting on in the signal box at Gromont with Chris.
So what is it that I'm going to be doing then?
What you're going to do for me now is reset the route for the incoming train I've got coming down from Goathland. So what I need you to do is put these two blue ones back all the way as far as I'll go.
That one?
Yeah. So what you've done there is you've unlocked this set of points. Nope. It's not going to go.
No.
No. What you've done there is you've moved the points too slowly, so they're not all the way across, so you can't lock the points. So I shall need to reset. Oops, sorry. And you should be able to get 12 and 15 now.
So 12 and 15 now?
Yes. So if you just want to pull 7 for me now.
Okay.
There we go. And what you've done there is signal the train that's coming on its way down from Goathland up to the gantry just outside Beaumont Shed.
It's quite a physically difficult thing to do, as I sort of gave an example of there.
Yeah.
So do you often get more males doing this than...
It is generally a more male thing to do. But there's no reason why women can't do it as well. We do indeed have our own female signalman, and she will very strongly argue that she is a signalman, not a signalwoman or a signaller. And she indeed works this very box and the next one up at Goathland. And indeed during World War II most of the signal boxes were manned by women.
It looks like a job where you spend a lot of time on your own, so does it take a certain sort of person to do it?
Anyone could be a signalman really. It does help if you can keep yourself company. And there are some boxes that are in the middle of nowhere, and we've got a couple ourselves here, that where you can get lonely. You can have pretty much no contact at all with anybody except when a train goes past, and you can in theory talk to no one at all. In this particular signal box, which is the busiest on the railway, busiest on any preserved railway on a full gold timetable or gala day, and very high up of the list of busy signal boxes in Yorkshire, and if not lever frames in the country, you don't really get time, most of the time, to notice that you are on your own, because you're too busy dealing with the amount of traffic and shunting and everything else that you've got going through.
What is it that you get out of it?
I think what I get out of it is a sense of satisfaction of a job done well. A lot of the time things can not quite go how you want them to be. You can have engines late off shed, signal failures, and if you can get through the day and you've run most of your trains on time, then it's a good satisfaction, job well done, satisfaction.
So, we've pestered the marketing department here at the railway to come up with a prize worthy of NYMR TV, and it seems Danielle has played a blinder, offering you the opportunity to win a family day pass to the railway. That's 2 adults and 2 children on the date of your choosing. So, how do you win this prize? All you need to do is answer a simple question, which is, What steam locomotive recently pulled the Royal Train and will be featuring in our steam gala in May? That is, what steam locomotive recently pulled the Royal Train and will be featuring in our steam gala in May? All you need to do is send your details and your answer to tv@nymr.co.uk. That's tv@nymr.co.uk. Well, that's it for this edition of NYMR TV. We'll see you next time. Goodness knows what they'll get me doing. I want to drive an engine, but knowing this producer, I'll probably end up working in the tea room with my brother. See you next time.